And we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to EIFF Youth Film Course Showcase. My name is Chloe. I am the Education and Learning Coordinator for Edinburgh International Film Festival and EIFF Youth, and I will be your host for today. Let me also introduce Nicholle Murdoch and David Allan, who will be your BSL interpreters for this session. This session is part of our bigger project, which is our weekender celebrating women filmmakers, which is called Women with a Movie Camera. If you want to have more information on this, please head to our social media with the handle at EIFF Youth. So part of our mission at EIFF Youth is to help you start your career in film and find your future in film. And for a lot of you, I think this will be at university or college after you finish high school. And we know that looking for the right courses can be really difficult. So hopefully today gives you a bit of an overview of all the different courses that are available here in Scotland. So we have received a lot of presentations from different course leaders, which will include University of West Scotland, Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, Queen Mary University, as well as Napier University, Edinburgh College, Edinburgh College of Art, City of Glasgow College, and the Royal Conservatoire. Some of our speakers will join afterwards for a Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat section. Some of their contact detail will also appear on the screen during our presentation, so you can contact them directly as well. So I'd like to say that this whole session is obviously BSL interpreted and that the presentations will have subtitles. So hopefully there'll be something for everyone. We'll cover loads of topics, which include filmmaking, screenwriting, acting, media, and television. So I'm sure you'll find that exciting and inspiring. So between a session, I'll be sharing some tips and some fun facts about the TV industry in Scotland. So that should be also kind of fun. So I think if everyone's ready, we'll just get started with our first presentation. So we'll hear from Andrew Jarvis from the University of West Scotland, and he is presenting the BA course in filmmaking and screenwriting.
Hello, my name's Andrew Jarvis, and I am the Programme Leader for BA Honours Filmmaking and Screenwriting at the University of the West of Scotland. Ours is a course that encourages students to develop skills of filmmaking with a particular emphasis on short filmmaking. We cover all of the key areas of production and post-production. Students learn camera skills, sound skills, editing skills, writing, directing and producing. If we have a look at this course structure, you'll see that the emphasis is on practical filmmaking, supported by script writing modules, and with a minor strand of film studies. So this is a course that will appeal to you if you are most interested in learning how to make films and all the skills involved in that, but you also have a strong interest in cinema, perhaps in the history of cinema, certainly in contemporary films and filmmaking, and you want to get the opportunity to reflect on that, to discuss and write about cinema, as well as making your own films. The filmmaking modules are taught by tutors who are also professional filmmakers. Here I've got some promotional materials for films made by some of our tutors, and they include feature films, short films, fiction and documentary. These tutors, who are also professional filmmakers, enable students to make real connections with the industry. In addition to our tutors, we bring in professional filmmakers to give masterclasses, to take workshops, and to engage in networking events. So, some facts to take on board. First of all, we are an accredited course, which means that we have a course that meets professional standards, and the equipment that you use, the tutors that will work with you, and the courses that you take will all have relevance for your career development. We are based at the Ayr campus, which is round about 50 minutes to an hour outside of Glasgow. Good transport links, public transport links, as well as motorway links. One module, the third year module called Producing Skills, is based at Film City. It's taught at Film City, Glasgow, and that's an opportunity to make further connections with the film industry, because that's where important companies and individuals associated with, particularly with the Scottish film industry, are based. Our academic year runs from September to January and February to June. They're the two teaching terms. There are no exams. All assessment is by coursework. So if you're doing a filmmaking module, you'll be assessed on the film that you make. And similarly with a scriptwriting module, you'll be assessed on the scripts that you write. The film studies modules, you'll be assessed by writing essays. We provide all equipment. You don't need to buy anything. Some students do choose to get little extras that are for a particular reason for the production that they're involved in, but it's not required. Our entry requirements for first year are 4 hires at B or above. Most of our students come in at first year, and some will graduate with the BA at third year, but most will stay on and take the honours and complete 4 years of study with us. It is possible for a very limited number of places to become available in second and third year, and they are based upon HNZ and HND entry qualifications. But we tend not to have places in second and third year because we tend to keep most of the students that come in at first year. So this is a course that offers a balance between filmmaking and film studies, with the emphasis on practical creative filmmaking. It's also a course that is taught by filmmakers. So if you're looking for an opportunity to pursue your interest in films and to develop skills that you can use in your career, then you may want to put in an application to BA Honours Filmmaking and Screenwriting. If you want any more information, I've got my email address on the slide. Do feel free to contact me and I'll give you a quick response.
Thank you so much. That looked like a really nice course. If you're looking for great films to watch about Scotland, I've got 2 recommendations for you. We have Wild Rose, which was an amazing film that came out a couple of years ago, and as well, more recently, Limbo, which we've all loved. These are great films by local writers, so if you're interested in screenwriting, you might want to share your own stories set around Scotland. So now we will move on from the West Coast to the beautiful Isle of Skye. We have a presentation by Sophie Stephen from Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, and she will be presenting their diploma in higher education in Gaelic media.
Feskerma agus Falche. We're from Sabhal Mòr Ostaig, the National Centre for Gaelic Language and Culture, and academic partner with the University of the Highlands and Islands. We're situated on the spectacular Isle of Skye, but we're delighted to bring you this presentation as part of the Film Course Showcase at the Edinburgh International Film Festival. Sabhal Mòr Ostaig has successfully been providing training in Gaelic media for over 20 years, and today I'm going to be telling you about our Diploma of Higher Education in Gaelic Media. This is not only a credited course, but a pathway to a career in the media. The diploma has a very high employment rate, with over 70% of those achieving the award gaining employment within the media industry. Perhaps you're a Gaelic speaker or you're interested in learning Gaelic. If you want to work in front of the camera, presenting, or perhaps behind the camera, or in editing, in research, in radio or in digital media, this course offers you the opportunity to discover your career in the media through Gaelic. So, what do you need to get onto the course? Well, if you're doing Scottish Highers, then we would be looking for 2 Bs and a C or above, preferably including Gaelic, or if you're doing A-levels, then that would be a B and a C or above. Applicants with other qualifications or experience will be considered on an individual basis. There will also be an interview in which applicants will be expected to demonstrate that they have a commitment to working in the media industry, and they also must have a certain level of fluency in both spoken and written Gaelic. If your Gaelic is not quite fluent enough, then our course leader may suggest doing one of our 1-year Gaelic immersion courses and Cursa Comish or Gaelicus Conaltraig prior to the diploma. The diploma itself is full-time over 2 years. The first year comprises 2 academic semesters on campus, and the following year you will have a 10-month placement in the industry. Throughout the course, students have the opportunity to develop the necessary technical, creative and logistical skills required for direct entry to the workplace. The campus is situated in a unique location on the Isle of Skye, a place which has inspired filmmakers and photographers from all over the world. As well as hosting excellent technical facilities, the campus also has a Gaelic immersion environment, which offers students the opportunity to live, work and study through the medium of Gaelic. Over the last 20 years, our alumni have gone on to achieve successful and varied careers. This includes broadcast journalists working in news, current affairs and sport, as well as self-shooting directors and TV editors. Here's a couple of photos from one of our alumni who is working over at the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in Australia. Another of our alumni has trained as an EVS operator. That's creating slow motion and instant graphics for TV broadcasts, particularly in sport. And they have worked at many major sporting events, including the World Cup and the Winter Olympics. Okay, so what's involved in the course? Well, it's 80% practical, with 10 core modules. In the first year, there will be communication skills for media, technical skills, editing, television research and production skills, as well as radio production and journalism. Then in second year, there are modules in effective team working, enhancing interpersonal skills, professional practice and presentational skills for employment. Students are taught and supported by highly experienced teaching and support staff, as well as benefiting from the expertise of recognised industry specialists. So, a bit more about the work experience you can gain on the course, as well as networking and exposure opportunities. In year 1, you will have the opportunity of a week's work-based learning with a BBC outside broadcast unit at the Royal National Mod, and will have regular input from industry practitioners across a range of modules. During the second year, you will spend 10 months on industry placement at various media companies and broadcasters, and will learn and be assessed on the work you undertake during this time. You might be quite happy to know that this course does not require exams or a dissertation. However, all assessments on both years must be passed to obtain the qualification. Year 1 and Year 2 assessments take the form of mainly practical projects for TV, radio and journalism. Sabhal Mòr Ostaig has its own YouTube channel, SMO TV, where students can showcase their work, and there's also the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Film G competition. If you're interested in our Diploma of Higher Education in Gaelic Media or have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can also follow us on all the social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. Feskerma agus falche.
Studying on the Isle of Skye sounds absolutely dreamy. So like I said, I will be sharing some tips with you, and if you're interested in working in the media, I can highly recommend an organization you could get involved with, which is BBC The Social. You probably have seen their content on social media, and they're always looking for contributors from stories, from young people from all around the country who want to share their own stories. So definitely check them out on their social media or their website. So up next is Robert Munro from Queen Margaret University, and he will be presenting the Film and Media course.
Hello, my name's Robert Munro. I'm the Programme Leader in Film and Media at Queen Margaret University. And over the next 5 minutes or so, I'm just going to give you a wee sense of what our programme has to offer. So this is the key features in terms of the Film and Media programme at Queen Margaret. We have a blend of theory and practice. We don't see those things as separate, and there are employability skills woven throughout the degree from years 1 to 4. By that blend in practice and theory, what we mean is we don't just teach you how to use production kit. It's not a production degree on its own. It's also a blend of kind of critical thinking about film and media and how they construct the world for us, how they represent people and places and cultures, and how that kind of frames our understanding of those people, places and cultures. So one of the things we're very keen on kind of making apparent at these kind of talks is that we do encourage you to think critically about the world. And we would argue that thinking critically about film and media has maybe never been more important than in the contemporary age, with the abundance of social media, the abundance of media that you can consume in your hand through your smartphone, your man there, President Trump or ex-President Trump, and his kind of fake news agenda, which has really kind of framed our understanding of the media and the news over the past 5 years or so. We also do teach you how to use the kit as well. We've got specialist facilities like the green screen, edit suite, broadcast quality cameras, audio recording facilities, and so on and so on. Award-winning filmmakers that teach you the film production side, Graham Drysdale and Walid Sohab, as well as on the more kind of critical side, a whole suite of internationally recognised academics. And I think one of the key selling points for our programme as well is that you get to mix with students who are doing different degrees, such as PR and marketing, media and comms, theatre and film, drama and performance, acting for stage and screen, and costume design. So there's a really kind of nice collaborative mix at Queen Margaret University. In terms of the campus itself, we are located just 6 minutes by train from Edinburgh city centre. So you get the best of both there. You've got the kind of coastal views of East Lothian, you've got the countryside, but you also are just 6 minutes away by train from the city centre. You can see the little video there showing you our purpose-built campus, which was designed and built and kind of launched in 2007 is when we moved into that, and it's been, you know, a fantastic facility for us to have since there. You've got the student accommodation just beside the campus, space for 800 students. All of the rooms are en suite with the kind of things you would expect, like 24-hour security around the clock, catering facilities on site, Starbucks and Maggie's. Maggie's coffee is actually better than Starbucks, but don't let them know I told you that. Sports facilities, the things that you would expect to be there as well, gym, AstroTurf, and so on and so on. In terms of the degree, zooming in for a close-up to what we do, I've said a kind of mix of theory and production, roughly 50-50 in your first couple of years. When you get to third and fourth year, you can kind of tailor the course to suit your own interest. If you're more interested in production, you can go down that route. If you're more interested in the kind of critical theory side, you can go down that route. We tend not to see those things as separate, those theory and production. For us, the more you understand about film history, film theory, film genre, film style, and so on, the better filmmaker you're going to be if that's the production side that you're interested in. There's an example list of some modules on the screen there. You can see them on our website. The little video that was playing was from a video essay module. which really brings those two things very closely together, theory and production. You can see entrepreneurship in film and media. I mentioned those kind of employability skills all the way right throughout levels 1 to 4. There's a client project in level 2 where businesses and charities come and ask you to pitch for their work as if you were a kind of media production company. So you get that all the way throughout. In your final year, your dissertation, it could be a written dissertation. You can make a short film either as an individual or as part of a group. There's photography project options, video essay options, screenplay options. There's a kind of suite of options for your final year, depending on what your own skills and interests are. Throughout your time, you'll be witnessing guest speakers coming onto campus, or remotely as it is at the moment, including some Edinburgh International Film Festival favourites like Mark Cousin and Yvonne Gordon, Head of Education and Learning at Centre for Moving Image, Edinburgh International Film Festival. She's going to be part of a talk in March. So we're regularly having people who work in the industry, whether that's film, media, music, you can see on the screen there, theatre as well, coming into campus to talk to their students about what it is that they do. Beyond the classroom, obviously our Students' Union has got a wide variety of societies available for you to join. I'm just going to focus on the Film Society, which is great. It's run entirely by students. We don't have anything to do with it apart from kind of supporting it and promoting it. They have regular film viewing and discussions of the films, but what's great about them is they also make their own films. They have collaborative filmmaking projects and kind of editing and screenwriting workshops with each other as well. Regular screenings of students' work are infamous Silver Swans, which is the Silver Swan is like the most coveted prize in the film industry. We host this event for years 1 to 4. We screen a whole bunch of the films that students have made, and we give them these little statues, these little Silver Swan statues for the kind of best film in that category. We have our annual showcase at the Edinburgh Film House every June, where the graduates screen their films for their friends and family, and there's also a kind of industry networking event afterwards too. After that, well, our graduates go into a host of different careers, including screen production, as you might imagine, film festival programming, digital marketing and communications, academia, youth work. In terms of academia, I was a film and media graduate 2007 to 2011 at Queen Margaret, and I've just kind of done a couple of postgraduate degrees and hung around long enough to become a lecturer here too. Many of our students, win awards at film festivals, or they set up their own production companies. A couple of graduate films there on the screen, Alba and Welcome to Chernobyl, both won awards this summer after having completed their dissertation movies, Margarita Mazza and Alex Gilbert. Production companies, as I've said there, with a little help from us, we've got a business gateway on campus, so we really do help students set up their own companies if that's what we want to do. 2 examples on the screen there, Raw Film Productions, who made a whole bunch of really great coronavirus web content for the government, and Napier Media, a multimedia company that I've just set up from graduates as well. You can see their brilliant website design on the screen as well. In terms of the more kind of fundamental bits of information, the entry requirements are on the screen. There's more information on the website. Scottish Hire 4 Bs or 2 Bs and 2 Cs as a minimum requirement. There is direct entry available as well if you've been to college for years 2 and 3, depending on what course you've done. It's a 4-year course. You can graduate at the end of 3rd year with an ordinary degree if you so wish. What we always encourage you to do is get in contact with us if you've got any questions. Got on the screen there, our admissions team, student funding advisor and disability team are available before and during and obviously after your decision-making process. So if you're concerned about anything in those areas, do get in touch with us. We have a range of kind of support once you begin with us as well. QM Connect, which is a mentoring scheme. All care leavers have individual support through our widening participation team. And we've got this really great scheme here called peer assisted learning, where you get academic support. If you're in 1st and 2nd year, you get support from 3rd and 4th year students who have already done the courses that you're studying, and they run little academic workshops for you. So that's the programme in a nutshell. If you do have any questions, my colleague, Dr. Michael Stewart, will be there on the day to respond to those. You can always get in touch with me via email on the screen or follow us on Twitter as well. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully we'll see some of you at Queen Margaret in the future.
So if you want to hear from our very own Yvonne Gordon, Queen Margaret is the place to be. She'll give a talk in March, which sounds amazing. So like I said, there's a few organizations I want to flag up to you, especially if you want to get some hands-on experience. I can highly recommend in Edinburgh, there's ScreenEd, who also run the BFI Academy. We have Shmoo in Aberdeen, and they also run their own radio station, which is really cool. And over in Glasgow, there's of course GMAC, all three great organizations that do loads of courses and workshops for young people who wish to gain a bit more hands-on experience. So if you're looking to building your own portfolio, that's a great place to start. We will now move on to Edinburgh Napier University. Napier counts a really famous alumni, which we absolutely have to mention. It's of course filmmaker Lynne Ramsay. You might know her from her films Ratcatcher, Morven Colour, or We Need to Talk About Kevin. All three great films. So they will be presenting their BA in television, then their BA in film, and finally their BA in acting. I just want to flag up that the acting presentations doesn't have captions, but the text in the PowerPoint is nearly word for word the text that the speaker is saying as he's reading from the slides. So yeah, off we go. Napier University.
Hello and welcome to BA Television at Edinburgh Napier University. BA Television was founded in 2009 with the specific intention of creating a direct route from college to industry that provides students, such as you, with university-level learning and industry-accredited experience. We are accredited by Screen Skills, the industry-led skills body for the UK's screen-based creative industries.
Television is a rapidly changing creative industry which is constantly evolving. On the BA TV programme, you will consider and practice all sorts of types of production, from network television, streaming services and online content. We will ask you to think about what you watch and how television is made. The skills you will develop on BA TV can be applied across this evolving media landscape and reflect the varied destinations our graduates have taken. You will develop the skills needed to work in television, film, and the digital creative industries, such as teamwork, critical thinking, problem solving, technical knowledge, production management skills, creative programme development, and industry knowledge and experience. At BA Television, we want our students to be the best at production, to bring creative thinking to all that they do, and to apply it to industry contexts. Production sits at the heart of what we are about, and you will have opportunities to be involved in a range of productions across scripted, non-scripted and studio production, as well as your fourth year final project. Every year, there are also many external production opportunities which you're encouraged to take part in, whether with other students or for external partners. We value your connections and experience with industry. There are opportunities on the programme within modules for work-based learning and professional development. We also arrange visits and trips to studios and industry partners. Across the school, BA TV students can take part in a network of events and industry-related opportunities, from our annual Women Working in Film and Television networking evening to guest speakers and interdisciplinary collaborative projects. As a BA TV student, you will study 3 modules a term. In fourth year, you will work towards your final project, developing a specialist area of production. In fourth year, you can also choose between writing a dissertation or taking work-based learning and professional development modules. Every year, we host a screening event for your final productions. We are extremely proud of our BA TV graduates who come from all over Scotland and the world to study with us. We hope you will join us too. For more information about BA Television at Edinburgh Napier, contact Programme Leader Dr. Kirsten MacLeod by email or on 0131 455 3343. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Hello, my name's Paul Gray. I am the Programme Leader for BA Honours Film at Edinburgh Napier University. So BA Honours Film is a 4-year honours degree, and we're very much a practice-based course. We're very much around making films. So from day one, our students are getting their hands on cameras, going out, working collaboratively, and starting to produce their film work and starting to engage in that practice. And we're also an honours degree, so we underpin our practice with the critical and contextual studies. And that breaks down pretty straightforwardly. We spend 2/3 of our time on the practical side of things and 1/3 on the critical and contextual studies. So typically what will happen in a module is we will have certain parameters that we want our students to be exploring. So if we think about in first year, some of the projects will be really focused around things like on and off screen space. We may be interested in looking in particular at screenwriting around dialogue, and that might be a focus that we're looking at, or it may actually be non-dialogue driven and it may be all about sound-picture relations. Other things, maybe we'll look at systems of continuity editing, so we'll be really interested in shooting things within those kind of traditional forms of the shot, reverse shot, the establishing shot, and then thinking about lighting around that in terms of our 3-point lighting. But those will be the things that we want our students to learn, and within those parameters, students have a freedom to explore their creative ideas and develop their own stories and develop their own interests within film. And we try and make sure that we keep that freedom within the projects. Going through the second year, some of the things we look at are looking at film genre, the importance of that for an audience. We look at adaptation, of taking existing stories and what can we do with those in terms of using those as a means to create our film work. We continue our documentary practice through the first year and second year, and all of that goes on alongside a continuation of our critical and contextual studies. We have a bit of a shift when we get into our third year, in that we want our students to really start to think about specialising within the different disciplines of filmmaking. So we have writing, directing, producing, cinematography, editing, sound design, production design. I think that's all of them, that we look at as being those main head of department roles that we want our students to decide as being kind of priority disciplines for them. And so we have a bit of a shift in our assessment at that point, where all the research and all of our kind of focus becomes around those individual disciplines, around those specialisms. We do all of that very much within a clear understanding of what the professional industry practices are, what our students will be going out into when they graduate. So we're very clear about making sure that we're very focused on that the professional practice side of things. So we focus quite a bit of that in our second year in a module called Film Production Management, and we absolutely in the third and fourth year have a big focus on that through a module in third year called Work-Related Learning in Film, where our students have the opportunity to gain work experience within industry. We set a lot of projects in that area. We work with a lot of local firms to make sure that our students get as many opportunities as possible there. And in the fourth year, we continue that through a module called Professional Development, where we're really thinking about what comes next, preparing our students to think about what are your long-term goals, and what are those aspirations, and what can we do in the short term to make those more realizable and to get our students to where they want to be within the industry. An important thing to highlight about the third year also is that there's the opportunity to study abroad, and about a third of our students go on exchange at that point, and it's a really valuable and fantastic opportunity our students can take. We very much see the 4 years on BA Honours Film as a continual progression of learning. We know where we want our students to get to. We know the skills base we want them to have. And so we very much see that what we start to do in the beginning of first year is making sense with regard to where we're going to go across those 4 years. And all of that culminates in the fourth year in our final year films. So students will be involved in at least one of those films in a major role, but typically students take on roles across more than one project, perhaps a significant role on a couple of projects and then some minor roles on other projects, just to get as much experience and as much kind of valuable time on set or in post-production as is available to them. So those opportunities are there to be taken. Alongside that, in the fourth year, the other big piece of work that's done there is a dissertation. So it's a piece of research in the form of a 10,000 word piece of writing, and that may sound daunting just now, but actually, we build up those skills across the first 3 years of the course so that our students are very prepared and ready to undertake a piece of research in a subject matter of their choosing. But in terms of our facilities, we are an avid learning partner, which means that in our post-production facilities we have kind of industry standard facilities there, with Avid Media Composer and Avid Pro Tools, both industry standard pieces of post-production software. The type of facilities we have in terms of camera equipment, lighting, grip equipment, dollies and so on, it's all the stuff that you would expect to see on any kind of independent film shoot. I'll now turn my attention to the recruitment process, and I'll cover a few things that are specific to BA Honours Film. So you apply via UCAS in the normal way, and provided you meet the deadline for UCAS, all those applications that come into Napier will be viewed by our admissions department. Provided you meet the minimum requirements, we'll look at your application and we'll consider that. If we are happy with what we see there with regard to the overall academic qualifications and your personal statement and so on, then we will invite you then at that stage to submit some work for consideration. So we'll send you a brief and we'll send you information regarding what we're looking for. Don't worry about that being part of your UCAS application, because it will come later. We'll send you it when we're ready to request that information from you. So we'll send you some guidelines, we'll ask you to submit some work. Once we receive that work, if we're happy with what we see at that stage, we'll then invite you to interview. And what are the main things we're looking for? Well, one of the main things, and one of the top of the list things that we're looking for, is your commitment to your practice, your commitment to filmmaking, to creative practice in general. And we want to see that in your personal statement. We want to hear about that when we talk to you. We want to know that you're really passionate about your filmmaking, and we want to see that evidenced in the work that you produce, in the experience that you've undertaken and that you talk about in your personal statement, and then that we can elaborate on at interview. And that's a real, alongside the talent, alongside the ability, alongside the academic ability and the creative ability, really it's that passion and that engagement and commitment that we really want to see within your application. So I hope this has been interesting and of help to you to understand a bit more about the BA Honours Film programme, and I'm sure we'll have opportunity to answer any questions you have as well, and you'll be able to get in touch with us to follow up. Okay, bye.
Hello and welcome to Edinburgh Napier University's Acting Department. My name's Ian Davey and I'm the Programme Leader for the Acting and English programme, and I'm going to take you through some of our programmes that we have on offer if you're interested in acting. So we have 3 acting programmes here at Edinburgh Napier. The BA Honours Acting and English, that's a 4-year programme, and you'll spend half your time working with us in the rehearsal room looking at different texts from different periods, and the other half you'll be doing a modern English degree. The BA Honours Stage and Screen Acting is a 2-year programme. That's direct entry into 3rd year. So most of the people coming onto that programme have done an HND or maybe 2 years at another university. The MFA Acting for Stage and Screen is also a 2-year programme, but this actually takes up 6 trimesters in those 2 years. We audition everybody that comes on to the acting programmes here at Edinburgh Napier, so you would have to take part in an audition. Our acting programmes at Edinburgh Napier will give you the opportunity to develop your skills to work professionally within the industry. Our acting programmes all offer the opportunity to do a run at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, which is a great opportunity for you. Our staff are all industry focused, and there will also be opportunities to collaborate and work with training filmmakers, theatre directors and playwrights. So, why not study acting in one of the greatest festival cities in the world? Edinburgh is a cosmopolitan capital city. There is everything on your doorstep, from vibrant art scene, social life and culture. Edinburgh has been considered one of the best places to live in the world, and I have to say, personally speaking, I have to agree. Every August, Edinburgh has one of the world's largest arts festivals, which includes the Edinburgh International Festival, the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, Book Festival, and a little earlier, the Film Festival. So, what have our students been up to? Well, they've had quite a lot of success when leaving the programme. For example, Marley Sue, who was in the Acting in English programme, won a place on the Dundee Rep Graduate Scheme. She was also nominated for the Ian Charleson Award and has just finished her third film, Our Ladies. She was also a series regular in Amazon Originals' Alex Rider. Daniel Campbell has also had quite a bit of success. He was a series regular in the History Channel production of Nightfall. He is also featured in Coronation Street and has just finished a short film, Going Away. Daniel Jam was one of our students. She won a place also on the Dundee Rep Graduate Scheme. She was involved in the play It Wasn't Me at the Traverse Theatre with a play of Pie in the Pint, and she's been a series regular on CBeebies, Molly and Mac. This is just an example of some of our students, but many more have been successful in many other areas. So, all of our acting programmes are vocational training. That's with us in a room working on various scripts. There is some theory, but it is all focused on you and your technique. All the programmes will at points collaborate with other undergraduate and MFA students, such as the Screen Academy, which is the only film school in Scotland, where there will be directors. We also have playwrights, film and TV students. At Edinburgh Napier, we are industry relevant. Edinburgh Napier has an excellent contacts within the industry, and we endeavour to create links so that students can have the best possible start to their careers. Our alumni have worked all over the world with some of the biggest names in the industry. Also at Edinburgh Napier, it has excellent support services, such as welfare, mental health, accommodation, financial information, and much, much more. Last year, on the National Student Survey, Edinburgh Napier received 100% overall satisfaction for its acting department. Students commented that staff are good at explaining things. They also commented that the course has provided them with the opportunities to apply what they have learned. And they also felt that there was great academic support. So, if you are interested in any of our acting programmes here at Edinburgh Napier University, please get in contact with us. You can either get in contact with me, Ian Davey, for the Acting in English, or Ian Dunn for Stage and Screen Acting, or Donna Sotomoritini for Acting for Stage and Screen. Or, if you like, just visit the website www.napier.ac.uk. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Edinburgh Napier University, for these 3 presentations. For any of our viewers who are just joining us now, we're here giving an overview of all the different film and courses that you can take here in Scotland. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat and we will be able to answer them at the end in our Q&A. So I just want to say we think now is the perfect time to get involved in film and TV in Scotland because they're building a huge studio in Leith. So we expect many high-end film and TV productions to come here in Edinburgh and to hire loads of staff. So now we'll move on to our next clip. which will be a clip presentation from Edinburgh College showing us an overview of their broadcast media courses.
Hi there, I'm Vic Galloway and I am hosting tonight's event. It's Cover Up's 10th anniversary. 4 amazing bands. We're just about to introduce the first one on stage. Follow me, come on.
At Edinburgh College Broadcast Media Department, we cover all aspects of media broadcasting for film and TV productions. We also go out to shoot on location. We are a broadcast media lecturing team who will help and support you during your period of studies at Edinburgh College. We cover theory and practical subjects, working in well-equipped studios, using professional high-end equipment and industry-standard software. Our broadcast media courses are mainly taught at the Sighthill and Milton Road campuses. However, we also teach HNC radio and podcasting at the Granton campus. At Edinburgh College Broadcast Media Department, we offer many full-time and part-time courses. Our part-time courses include day, twilight, evening, and short bespoke commercial courses. They run from level 4 through to level 8 HND courses, after which you can work in the industry or go on to the university of your choice at second or third year entry.
Hi, my name's Andrew Nicholle and I'm a graduate of Edinburgh College Broadcast Media. I started studying at the college in 2012 on an NQ in Broadcast Media before advancing onto an NQ in Media Technology, before then going on to a 2-year HNC HND course in Creative Industries Television.
Our subjects include camera, lighting, sound, scriptwriting, editing, production planning, and broadcast multi-camera live streaming.
I would highly recommend Edinburgh College as a place for anyone looking to study broadcast media.
Thank you so much, Edinburgh College. Another great way to gain insight and experience in the industry is, of course, the Blended Trainee Programme, which is organised by Screen Scotland and Screen Skills, and it takes place at their own studios. So this year's the traineeship that included roles such as assistant director, post-production, greens, video assistant, props, and more. So that's really a great opportunity for anyone who wants to get some real life experience on a set and in a TV show that's appreciated by many, many people. So we now have, we'll move on to our 2 presentations from Edinburgh College of Art. And so we're first going to hear about the BA course in film and television, and then moving on to the BA course in animation.
My name is Lily Sanderling. I'm the Programme Director of the BA Honours Film and Television degree at Edinburgh College of Art. We're looking for students who have a passion for film and audiovisual storytelling. We want to nurture original voices in filmmaking. Your portfolios should not consist of showreels, but of original content. We are a practice-based film programme. We strive to work as a film community across year groups and encourage collaboration with other art and design students. Students can work on drama, documentary and experimental films, and we support work that crosses boundaries, innovates and challenges film norms. We use an industry-led approach with work experience opportunities and career support. Edinburgh is a city of culture with a huge range of events, festivals and venues serving all genres and tastes. The internationally renowned Edinburgh Film Festival is also on our doorstep. Our students regularly win awards such as the Royal Television Society Awards and BAFTA New Talent Awards. They also go on to make films part of filmmaking schemes such as SFDN, Bridging the Gap and Short Circuit. Student films are regularly screened at international film festivals such as Glasgow, Edinburgh, Berlin and Venice. Our students go into diverse employment in the industry, working for production companies, broadcasters, freelancing in the UK and also around the world. We have strong links to the UK film industry and support students to be industry ready when they graduate. All our lecturers and visiting tutors work within the industry as directors, producers, writers, cinematographers, editors, and sound recordists and sound designers. We also support external networking opportunities and encourage students to attend a range of industry events. Our core courses cover practical filmmaking with technical workshops, masterclasses, and production support. Design and screen cultures courses provide a contextual and theoretical understanding of film. In addition, you can choose other electives to complement your interests as a filmmaker from a range of ECA and University of Edinburgh courses. In Year 3, you can choose to study abroad or to do a work placement, and in Year 4, you make your main graduation film. Each year, students collaborate on graduation films, gaining on-set experience, communication skills, and problem-solving skills. Also, each year, students engage with research to create a solid base for their filmmaking practice. And each year, students work on short briefs, honing their technical skills and developing their voices as filmmakers. Our graduation films emulate industry practice and allow for students to take on head of department roles on a larger scope project. This could be as a director, writer, producer, cinematographer, editor, or in sound department. Students also often work with smaller crews on documentary, hybrid and experimental final year projects. In order to graduate, students submit a 3,000-word dissertation and a creative portfolio that showcases their skill set. Last year, we have mitigated for COVID in following official guidelines and industry practice. We have been teaching mainly online, but giving students access to software such as Avid, Premiere, Pro Tools and DaVinci. We also opened up a separate equipment store with other design courses at ECA. Unfortunately, the scale of practical project has been modified as required, but all students have still been able to make creative projects. At ECA, we also offer a wide range of other support that students might need, including widening participation, disability services, study support, technical support, pastoral care, and we have a very active student union and student representation.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming along today. My name is Jared Taylor. I'm the Programme Director for Animation at Edinburgh College of Art, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the course and the college. I think given that it's difficult for everybody to get out and about and visit places, showing you what the place actually looks like might be helpful. This is our main building where animation is based. It's not as old as it looks. It was built in 1907 and it's a purpose-built art school. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the programs that we offer. The one that I imagine most of you are going to be interested in is the BA Honours program, 4-year undergraduate degree. You can join it in either year 1 or 2, but you can only join in year 2 if you've completed a previous foundation course or HND in an appropriate subject. So hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, you'll know enough to be able to go out there and make a living after 4 years of studying with us. If you decide that you've just enjoyed the experience so much you want to stay for more, then you can spend another couple of years in the MFA. And if you're really hardcore, then you've got the option of either 3 or 6 years if you go full-time or part-time on a PhD. So you'll be a doctor of animation or a doctor of design with a specialism in animation, but you will have spent potentially 9 years or 12 years with us. So you really got to like the place in order to go that far, I think. This is a little bit of indication about our philosophy to teaching, the core curriculum that we deliver to you, and it's all centered around the notion of movement. So year 1, which is focusing on the basics of movement, it's really just about making things move, getting the ball rolling, getting the box sliding down a slope, working with the most basic building blocks upon which all animation rests. Year 2, we really hope that you're going to start bringing life to the equation. It's no longer just about simply moving something from point A to point B. It's about getting them to do it with meaning, with expressive performance, really about starting to give life to the animated characters that you're creating. The next year, year 3, it's about learning to work with other people or work for other people as well. This is a really vital year, we think, for getting you some notion of what it's like to feel out there in the workplace. So working on live projects with clients that in the past have included Channel 4, the BBC. This year we're working with DC Thomson's. It's a really good thing to do to learn how to solve problems for other people rather than always concentrate on just making the things that you want to make. Year 4, we hope that you're going to make something that's entirely yours, that lots of people see and they feel moved by, whether that's emotionally or whether it's politically, whether you agitate them into storming the Capitol or whatever. So long as people are seeing your work and it's something that's entirely yours. So in the final year, we kind of move into more of a production role. You tell us what you want to make. We point out potential pitfalls and then we help you get the thing made. You do also have a dissertation to make as part of your final year, which some people enjoy, some people don't, but it's generally useful for everybody. So moving on. These images are from some of the films that have gone on to win awards. That's Will Anderson's film up there at top right, Making a Longbird, that won a BAFTA. I Am Tom Moody won Scottish BAFTA and was BAFTA nominated in the big BAFTAs. The film bottom right is entirely screen printed and then combined together into an animation. You can always trust an animator to find a way of making a difficult thing even more difficult. All the little garlands and wreaths that you see on these images are things that are awarded by festivals that these works have been selected to show at. So I think you can see that they've really done the rounds on a lot of major festivals. We'll run out of room, so you decided just to go with the big 2 that are on there. But hopefully that gives you some sense of what our students managed to achieve. They do end up on the festival circuit a lot, but they've also gone on to secure jobs at fairly major companies, Aardman Animation, Leica, Rockstar North here in Edinburgh, Cartoon Saloon and Brown Bag in Ireland, as well as setting up studios like Colic Films and Nexus Productions. And a few of them have gone on to work for directors such as Wes Anderson and Tim Burton. So it's not just the festival circuit. Our students seem to be well regarded in a bunch of different places. This slide, I hope, will be helpful to you. I've found that sometimes teachers and parents don't really understand why you want to do animation. And the real job thing comes up. When are you going to go and work for a bank or for, you need steady wages. You'll never be able to get a mortgage. This is taken from the Warwick Commission report, which was made in 2011, which the government commissioned to find out how much the creative industries in Britain were contributing to UK's gross domestic product. And no surprises here, really, to find that services are the biggest contributing sector. This is essentially everything from lawyers to shops and, and all that sort of thing. The surprise does come from the second biggest contributing sector, and that is the creative industries. If you look at these figures, the creative industries in the UK contribute more to the nation's finances than manufacturing and construction added together. That was a lot of information to chunk through. Sorry if I've run over time. I was asked to fit it into 5 minutes. I'm hoping that you'll get the opportunity to ask questions that haven't been answered here afterwards. If you want to know more, come to our open days, talk to us in person. You can always find my ugly mug all over the University of Edinburgh website. Send me an email and ask away. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's event, and thanks again for coming along. Bye, folks.
Thank you so much to Edinburgh College of Art for these two presentations. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat and we'll be able to answer them in the Q&A afterwards. So I've said, obviously there's Outlander that is shot in Scotland, but in recent years, we've had some really, really big productions being shot here. You might have seen the film sets around town. I'm thinking of, for example, Fast and Furious in Edinburgh, which was really exciting. Also the Eurovision Song Contest film, which was on Netflix this year. And more recently, we had the Batman films shooting in Glasgow with Robert Pattinson just right before COVID hit us. There's also some TV being shot around here. Obviously, Outlander, Shetlands are big shows. But we also had some big American productions, such as Succession, shooting some of their season 2 in Dundee. So that's really exciting. And if you're interested in television, please listen to our presentation next, which is from City of Glasgow College, which is it's from Andrew Lockyer presenting the BA in television.
Hello, my name's Andrew Lockyer. I'm going to be talking about the BA Honours Television degree course offered by City of Glasgow College in collaboration with Edinburgh Napier University. And that's me standing outside my previous employer. I really must get a photo of me outside the college. To get onto the course, you need to have an HND, ideally in a relevant subject, or suitable experience working in the industry. It's a 2-year course, and each year is divided into 2 semesters. As many of our BA students have already spent 2 years at the college acquiring an HND, we call the first year, rather confusingly, BA3. The units you'll study include factual research and production, script writing, television studies, drama production, and studio presentation. So a mixture of hands-on production of drama and documentary with the more theoretical academic side of television studies and the art of presenting to camera too. In your final year, BA4, you'll be back in our studio to make an entertainment show. You'll research, write and produce a substantial project which can be scripted or non-scripted. You can choose to write a dissertation or find a work placement and continue to develop the professional skills you'll need to find work in the industry. Our campus is in a great location right in the centre of Glasgow, just a few minutes walk from Queen Street Station and Buchanan Bus Station, near loads of shops and places to eat, drink and exercise. The building only opened in 2015, so it's still bright, modern and a great place to study and congregate, when we're allowed back in. I think one of our greatest assets, apart from the teaching staff of course, who've all had substantial industry experience, must be our TV studio with 3 HD cameras, a full lighting rig, vision mixer, sound desk and auto cue. And we have Avid and Final Cut Pro edit suites too. Being in Glasgow makes it easy for us to have great connections in the heart of Scotland's television industry, both in terms of who we bring into the college as guest speakers and where we place our students for work experience. Our graduates don't all stay in Glasgow to find work, of course, but many of them do go on to the major broadcasters and the many indies and post-production facilities based here. When we bring freelancers and commissioners into the building, it's a great opportunity for students to learn from industry professionals and also to show off their work and their skills to potential employers. Our annual showcases and online channels serve the same purpose. We're always looking for opportunities and challenges for our students outside the college, and we've had nominees and winners in some high-profile competitions in the last few years. The college has a terrific student support team offering help with everything from finance, health and well-being to one-to-one academic support with the challenges of working at degree level. We've just had a virtual open day, but I'm sure there will be other opportunities to see something of the college and what we've got to offer, particularly once we get back to something approaching normal when you can come and visit us in person. In the meantime, take a look at our website to find out more about the college and the course. Check out our students' work on YouTube and on our Instagram feed. And if you have any questions, email me on andrew.lockyer@cityofglasgowcollege.ac.uk. And I hope to see you in 2022.
Thank you so much. Hearing all these presentations makes me want to reapply to uni and start another degree. So now we'll move on to our final presentation for today before the Q&A, which is from Ray Talon from the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, who will be presenting the BA in Film. I also wanted to highlight that the RCS also offers a BA in Performance in British Sign Language for anyone who wants to get more experience in acting in film, television, or theatre. So off we go with the final presentation.
Hi there, my name is Ray Talon. I am the head of film at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, and I am in charge of the BA in filmmaking. It is a 3-year ordinary degree. Entry requirements for application are 3 passes or higher, so 3 Cs, but of course we do take entry from non-standard paths. So we believe that as a creative institution that some of the skills required and knowledge required doesn't always translate into academic subjects. So we very much base our final opinion on the work you submit for your application and also the interview process as well. So if you do find yourself in a position where you don't meet the academic requirements, do feel free to get in contact with the institution and to reach out to us and have a conversation. First, apologies as well. I'm doing this on a laptop camera, so my eyesight is going to be down, my eye line's going to be down a bit, and the light's not very good, so I'm doing this quite late on in the day. Unique selling points of the course. Probably the biggest one is the fact that we are a conservatoire and not a university, meaning that class sizes are very small. Currently, we're sitting with 14 students in year 1, 13 in year 2, and 12 in our final year. 14 to 15 is a kind of average size. They won't get any bigger than that. So the kind of staff to student ratio is very good, and class are very focused, and you'll see a lot of your staff because of that class size. So I would say that that's a unique selling point of the course. Another one being that we're a music and performance conservatoire. We have actors and prop makers and opera singers and jazz musicians and a whole cacophony of artistic disciplines within the one building. So that's great for making kind of creative collaborations and relationships. So we find that the filmmaking students have a great time working on pieces with maybe dancers and musicians. Currently our final year students have composition students, paired up with them for the final year project. So there's a real opportunity to collaborate within the building, which is really good. We're based in Glasgow. I am arguably the best city in Scotland. I would say that. from Glasgow. But you know, the campus is right in the city centre. Of course, we're in COVID times, but normally it's you know, a very busy city. Everything's in arm's reach. Very central. Accommodations nearby as well for anyone looking to get to student hall. So we're placed very well within the city centre of Glasgow. We are a practical course. That's what we do. We make stuff and we learn how to make stuff. Of course, that is contextualized with theory. But, you know, if you had to put a percentage on it, 70-30 for practical versus academic. And like I say, all the academic areas and theory areas are there to give context to what you do on the practical side. In terms of what you do, you make a monologue in year one in a group project, and we pair up with the BA acting students for that. In second year, you make your own production, your own film within that year, and in third year, you get to make a final year film as well. So that's the content you would generate through your time with us. But also, you will have to be crew in other people's films. So although you make one film in year two, you'll be writing 2 scripts and you'll be crew members on a bunch of other films. So a production period may last a month, where you're out for a week on your production, you as a director producer, and then out serving different craft roles. So you know, you will get to kind of touch base of a lot of the craft areas, and again, you have an option to make in your final year. For graduates, we have we do pretty well with the National Film School in London, Beaconsfield. We've pretty much had students articulate from our course into the national across various disciplines, and we continue to do so. We don't have an official partnership with them. Our courses line up fairly well, and a lot of students are going to freelance work, some into employment, and again some onto postgraduate study. So our kind of figures for graduates in related study and workplace are extremely high. So we feel that we're doing those things well. And we do that because of the staff. We have a small core team within the permanent staff, and for some subjects we're bringing in industry people to come in and teach. So the likes of editing, location sound, post-production sound, production are all taught from people coming in from outside. And we mix that up from very experienced big hitters through to, you know, some of our alumni who have been around for a few years and can come back in and really understand the student position and the professional side and where that meets. So we've got a good staff makeup. We do have a time where placement has to be achieved, work placement has to be achieved in your final year, but we support placements through second and third year. So if you did manage to get a place somewhere for an extended period of time, we would support that. We don't support it in year one. There's too much going on in terms of laying the foundations. So there is an official minimal time to get work experience, but we do encourage and facilitate anyone who gets a longer placement. In your final year, it's designed to help that. So in your final year, there's very little contact time in terms of teaching, but there's a lot of time required for the work you're doing. So you have projects, you get a film to make in final year, you have a research project, and you write a long form project as well, either feature or pilot. So you have mentors through those processes and deadlines to meet. So it's very much kind of getting you to generate a kind of autonomous thinking. And of course we have a showcase at the end. It'll be an online showcase this year, but there are opportunities to share your work that you make through your time here. Plenty, even in COVID times, there's plenty there to kind of support the needs and welfare of students all online. And with COVID, you know, we've managed to so far keep quite a lot of the practical elements in place, but done in a safe way in smaller groups, and things that can move online have moved online. Of course, things will change in the future. Hopefully that will reduce and we can work in different ways, but we have maintained a very high ratio of practical work, and it's all been done safely, and so far, touch wood, it's came out all right. So yeah, that's just a kind of very, very, very brief introduction from me, and hopefully I will see you soon.
Thank you so much for this. So these were all of our presentations from today. I hope you find this inspiring, that it gives you a bit of pointers of where to apply for university or college. So I can see that we have been joined by all of our contributors for the Q&A. So we're here with City of Glasgow College, Napier University, Queen Mary University, ECA, and the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. So I suggest I just shoot off the first question, which is for Queen Mary University, and that's Michael Stewart. We'll bring you up on the screen.
Hi there, hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us today. So we've got a question from Cara who's asking, do you offer any courses geared towards programming and festival programming?
Thanks very much, Chloe. Yvonne has corrected you in the chat. Queen Mary is the University of London. Very good college down there. Mary and Margaret, you know, it's a thin line, but yeah, we're Queen Margaret University.
My mistake. I thought the whole day that I was going to make this mistake, and obviously I did. But yeah, of course, it's Queen Margaret. Yeah.
At least it's a really good institution we're confused with. But Queen Margaret is a fantastic university, and it was about programming as a film programming. Film festivals and so on as part of the degree. Was that the question?
Yeah, was that in your program? Do you also offer courses that are more geared towards programming film for cinema, for example, or a programming for festivals? So that's kind of more events oriented.
Yes, sure. Well, the answer is yes. I have to qualify it. I mean, we're very lucky. We've got a relatively new member of staff in Steph van de Peer, and Steph, Chloe, I'm sure will probably know, she has a huge amount of experience in curating festivals, especially Africa in Motion, but other film festivals as well. We also have Leslie Ann Dixon, who is very experienced in researching film festivals. So thanks to Steph and Leslie, they offer optional modules in film curation and film programming. And we're also, again, where that comes into the degree would be us precisely liaising with organisations like you and with the Edinburgh Film House to see if there are opportunities for short courses for young people to learn about programming. And I know that some of the Queen Margaret students have done those short courses. So I can't pretend it's a major sort of core strand of the degree, but I can, you know, blow the trumpet quite loud for the fact we've got really, you know, we're so pleased that Steph has joined us. She has such good experience in curating festivals. So that's a very attractive, a very popular option for students. And again, as I say, again, we're very lucky. You'll have seen Robert's slides. Robert Monroe, people like Robert and Steph have very, very good contacts across the film and media industries. And as a consequence of that, whilst we don't have a formal placement on the film and media degree or the theatre and film degree, students do get a lot of opportunities to do things. I mean, seriously, there's at least one thing comes up every week, and then we might get a clutch of things. Between our contacts and our student services, students do get quite a lot of opportunities to get industry experience. And industry experience is also structured into the degree. We don't have a formal placement, but we have something, a core module in year 2 for film and media students, which is called the client-based project. And what happens there is, you know, my colleagues have put together a fantastic bank of contacts, and our students will do a project for them. So for instance, the Film House might be a client that they could go to and say, right, how can we do something for you? Often it will be a promotional film, but not only a promotional film, it might be social media, might be a website, it might be any number of things.
Thank you so much. It sounds like the program really encompasses loads of different topics and subjects.
Yes,
so
I think Robert's slides were fantastic. I mean, it's 3 key strands for us. It's the theoretical strand, the production strand, and then it's the sort of industry-facing stroke employment strand. That's the sort of three main strands of the degrees. Yep.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on to our next question, which came from Jack, and that will be for Jared at ECA Animation. Hi, Jared. Nice to see you in virtual person. So Jack is asking. Thank you. Jack is asking, for the animators amongst us, are there jobs available in Scotland?
That's a really interesting. can still hear me, I'm getting.
Oh, I think Jared is having a little bit
Hear
of technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a live event online without technical difficulties, I think. We'll move on to the next question and then we'll go back to Jared. Hopefully he'll be able to answer. So I'll bring Ray from the RCS, Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. Hi, Ray. Nice to see you. I see you appeared exactly when your presentation was playing. It's like magic. So we've got Lucilla who's asking, I had a question for the RCS. What facilities are available for students who might want to focus on editing?
Okay, so post-production starts at the beginning of year one. We've got two kind of digital training units, kind of computer labs, where we house a range of iMacs, and we run our editing classes within those rooms, and we teach Avid Media Composer. That's what's used on the curriculum. We do have Creative Cloud there as well, but it's not part of our curriculum. We also have, and it must be added, those rooms are for the full conservatoire, so students from many disciplines will use those spaces. We have 3 dedicated edit suites that are just for the film course, so those are great places that can be booked and used. In terms of focusing on editing, you'll spend an equal amount of time across first and second year in editing as you will on other craft areas, but as you segue into your final year, you get to kind of lean towards something that you were focused on the kind of transition out of undergrad into postgrad or industry. So if you've got a real focus on post, then the final years is a great year for you to kind of do more works when it comes to the student productions. You want to get yourself on as many of your peers' projects as possible, and of course the digital training units and the edit suites can be booked out with the curriculum time. So if you did want to go in and just chop away, or you're working on your own work, then those are bookable. So yeah, that's a kind of general overall kind of setup for that.
Thank you so much, Ray. So we will go back to Jared, who I think has solved his technical problem. And yeah, so the question was from Jack, just to reiterate, and he was asking, are there jobs for animators in Scotland?
Yeah, sorry about that. I've shouted at the small person responsible. So hopefully I'm with you for a bit longer. Now, it's a really good question, Jack. One of the really interesting things about lockdown over the last year and a bit is that opportunities within the animation sector have really expanded. A lot of people are looking to animators to help solve their problems because animators are used to working in isolation. They are used to working independently, and that's been something that production companies have really taken advantage of. In the same way as I don't think that we will ever truly lose the online now that it's become such a useful and omnipresent part of our day-to-day existence, I think the same will be true of animation opportunities. I think now that people have realized that there's more can be done with it, I think there will definitely be more opportunities there. In terms of employment, the biggest animation employer in Scotland is probably Axis Studios in Glasgow, and I know that they can never find enough people to work for them. They're continually recruiting. So, and the smaller ones as well. There's a lot going on, and I expect to see that increase even more over the next couple of years. So it depends upon the field that you're interested in moving into. Games has its own thing going on, animation for games, but animation for broadcast purposes, I think, is very, very healthy at the moment. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much for this. We got a question on Instagram as well, which is for Andrew Lockyer at City of Glasgow College. Hi,
Hello.
Andrew. Nice
Hello.
to see you. So we got someone asking if you provide help for students to get into the industry either during the degree or afterwards, so that we'll be helping with getting placements or internships, for example.
Certainly in the fourth year, work placements are a big priority. I think it helps that we're right in the centre of Glasgow, where a lot of Scotland's television industry is concentrated. So everybody who elects to do the professional development module as opposed to a dissertation will be doing a work placement. It's been a bit tricky this year, of course, what with the COVID limitations. But remarkably, everybody has actually managed to get a placement in the industry this year. It helped when live sport was revived. QTV, who are a company who stream football matches, for example, have taken a number of our students who've worked as camera operators, vision mixers for them on live sports coverage. So we're very lucky that that has continued this year. And I think also, as well as the work placements, the number of people who come in to speak to us from the BBC, from STV, from independent production companies, students make good contacts with them at those moments. When we had the head of factual from IWC talking to some students on Zoom, creative director for entertainment at STV. Often they're happy enough to say, share my email, and I know some of the students do follow up because they want to work in that particular area. And certainly when I still work in television myself, I don't teach full-time, I do run into students either that I've known in the few years that I've been working at the college, or I'll be in an edit suite somewhere and somebody will say, oh, I did that course at City of Glasgow, and I think, oh good, nice to see you in the industry. So it seems that is working.
Thank you so much. It's good to know that there's loads of jobs for everyone here in Scotland and in Glasgow specifically as well. So we'll now move on. I've got a question on Instagram from Sarah, who is asking Paul Gray from Edinburgh Napier. Hi, Paul. Good to see you online. Thank you for joining us. Sarah is asking, do you need to know what you want to specialize on before applying? And when do you recommend specializing?
No, there's no need to really have a clear idea of what it is you want to specialize in before you apply. Obviously that can inform your decision on what you want to undertake when you start to study and what you want to start to focus your attention on. But in the first couple of years of the program, the BA Honours Film program at Napier, it's very much about getting that kind of broad understanding of how all these roles fit together, about the roles and about the responsibilities between departments and so on, and really just having a chance to find out where your strengths lie and where your interests lie. So typically students start to really specialise through second year and into the third year, and then really focus all the practice around a particular departmental role going into the fourth year. And we just support that as best as possible and try and create as many opportunities for students to get a chance to explore all those different areas. Some of the students come onto the course with a very clear idea of what it is that they want to do, and we try and make sure that we can support that. And then others come in knowing that they just love filmmaking, and in that process of loving filmmaking, they find actually where they are happiest working, and which area they find their strengths to be.
And could you remind us the 3 specialisms that you had? I think there was directing was one of them, and what were the other ones?
So on BA Film, we tend to look at the different head of department roles of producing, writing, directing, cinematography, editing, sound design, production design. I think that's them all. I don't think I missed any of the major ones out there. And that's across both drama and also looking at documentary as well. And that's another area that students can, in the first couple of years, we'll look at both areas. And then increasingly, as we go forward, the types of projects that we're setting students in the latter part of the program are projects where students can either go down that route of documentary or drama at that stage.
That's great. Thank you so much. I now have a question. We'll stay with Edinburgh Napier, but we'll switch to Neil. Hi there. I think he's on mute. Oh, there he is. Hi, Neil. So you okay? Yeah, thank you for joining us. So you're a student recruitment officer, and I had a question to you about COVID at the moment and probably high school students not being really sure about what their exams would look like this year or in the future. Is that something that Napier is taking in consideration when reviewing applications?
Yes, definitely, 100%. So the COVID pandemic has affected everyone in university recruitment when it comes around to exam results. August just past there was obviously a difficult time when it came around. Students were given their grades and then they were downgraded, and it turned out they were actually then upgraded to the original grade that they got. So going forward, we are definitely going to be taking into considerations that those who have been studying whilst the home from school homeschooling has took place, we'll be taking that forward into when we review their applications. There's certain things that we sometimes ask for in courses, which would be possible placement work when you were at school, so that might not have been a possibility this year. So the admissions team are definitely taking in considerations about how this pandemic has affected a student's ability at high school and how it will affect their final grade when it comes to their exams in the summer. We're still a bit unsure about when the exams date is going to be in terms of when they'll be released, but just be rest assured that we'll definitely be there to support you throughout your time and ensure that you're ready to come start studying in September.
That's great. Thank you so much for this. And now we'll move on to my next question. If we can bring Ray back up to the screen. I've got someone asking, I know you guys have also a junior conservatoire where you can take loads of different classes, also including in filmmaking. Would you recommend, is that something you'd have to do before joining the BA?
No, absolutely not. It's not an official pathway into the undergrad degree. So it's really, of course, any kind of study in film will help, and it's a great program run by two great people. So the juniors is a worthwhile thing to do, but not necessary at all. No.
That's great to know. Thank you so much. I'll now move on to my next question. If we can bring Michael Stewart to the screen. Hi back, Michael.
Hi.
So in the presentation that Robert Monroe gave, he talked a lot about the films being made, and I was wondering if QMU kind of helps students getting their films in film festivals afterwards, or if there's some kind of follow-up process.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the showcase at the Film House, which I no doubt won't happen this year, very sadly, is a fantastic. I don't hesitate to recommend people to go and see that because. I always hesitate to say this, but I need to be upfront about the fact we're a very small university, and I think in terms of the films that our students produce, we really do punch above our weight, and our students win awards and also go on to form their own production companies, sometimes allied to the university, sometimes not. Going on to festivals, I have to be completely honest, I'm feeling a bit kind of not able to answer that one, in as much as the production staff, who are Waleed Salhab, Graham Drysdale and Andrew Rook, they're the guys who stay in very close contact with the filmmakers. So when, for instance, Raw Films was established and other film companies were established, they weren't in close liaison with them. I do know that one of the people who runs Raw has won a BAFTA. So her, that's something to really boast about. Her dissertation film went on to win a BAFTA award, so we've hit a pretty high note in that respect. But after that, I'm not going to pretend I know how specifically well students have done with their films at festivals internationally. I know that both Graham and Waleed and Andrew as well have done brilliant with their films at festivals and so on. But specifically how our graduates have done with their films, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna make up porky pies about that. But I just know our students produce really, really amazing movies.
That's great. It's great to know that there's a BAFTA amongst students.
We always boast about that one. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I have a question for Andrew at City of Glasgow College, if we can bring him back up. Hi back, Andrew. I was wondering, since your course is very hands-on during COVID, if learning has to be done at a distance, how do you accommodate students with this? Has the teaching been brought online?
Most of our delivery has been online over the last few months. Last year, we had students coming in groups of 6 for camera, editing, sound and lighting classes. So that was a quarter of the full class coming in at a time. That obviously reduced the number of hands-on sessions that they had, unfortunately. Since Christmas, the college has been closed completely to us. But in the next few weeks, I'm glad to say I will be going back into our television studio with some students to work on their studio shows. So I think from the 15th or is it the 22nd, we'll be getting back in to do those. But it has been hard, and I do feel sorry for the students who haven't been able to access the equipment that we have locked away in our store, or indeed, get that face-to-face tuition, because everything has been so much harder to do on Zoom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really hope that by the time students will apply for the for entry, that we won't have to be doing classes online. Hopefully it will be in person by next year.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Is, by the time we're good at doing it all on Zoom, we all hope we'll never have to do it again.
Exactly. But we're learning skills which I think are essential also in the world of film and TV.
Yes.
So yeah. And could we bring Jared back up to the screen? And that's from ECA Animation. Jared, you mentioned about the open day. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, in line with, I think, every other university, our normal open day sort of meet and greet and being able to show people around the facilities has had to be swapped out for something online. And we do a virtual open day. There are video tours of the college and things like that, but you also get the opportunity to talk directly to members of staff. And our next ones will be running from 23rd to the 25th. You can find details on the ECA website. But to anybody who is wondering about where they should go and study, you absolutely should do the open days in any form that you can. An awful lot of what we're hearing today is about, the reputation of institutions, but I believe wholeheartedly that good work can come from anywhere where the student is happy. So don't go someplace because other people tell you it's good. Go someplace because it feels right to you. That's when you'll do your best work. And the only way that you're going to know that is by going along to open days and getting a sense of what the staff and perhaps other students are like.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Really great tip to all prospective students to really go to all the online open days and hopefully real life open days when it can be done again. I have a final question for Paul Gray, Edinburgh Napier. So someone is asking about portfolio submissions and what should you include and what works in your favor?
So when it comes to portfolio, we send out an initial request with a short brief that we ask you to respond to, and there's a small piece of written work alongside that. And we do that for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is that, and in particular just now, it's particularly relevant, is that it just gives you an opportunity to create work that perhaps if you're in college work or school work and it's not quite ready, it's not quite complete yet, then it gives you a brief and an opportunity to complete work with a clear focus and a deadline. And that's something we're kind of keen to see you respond to. And what we're looking for and what's important about that, well, that first stage of answering the brief that we set, we look at that initially, and then you have an opportunity after that to follow up with other work if we invite you in for interview. But that initial stage of looking at your work, it's just an opportunity for you to express something about your creative ideas, about your creative interests. And the important things is not working in a vacuum, I guess, and really thinking about all of the things that you find of interest within filmmaking, and referring to that and using some of those things in the way that you construct any piece of work that you're doing. So we want to see that you are engaged and committed through that work. And engaged and committed, well, part of that just means that when we look at that, we understand that you're watching films, that you're engaging with, and you have a passion for watching films, and that somehow that's permeating into the work that you're creating. So yeah, in terms of what we ask at that initial stage, then we set a very clear brief, and we ask you just to respond to that.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I'll end the Q&A with a final question to Neil from Edinburgh Napier admissions. Would you have any, I guess that would be also for any university, but would you have any tips to any prospective students on what to include in their admission statement or motivation letter?
Yeah, of course. So your personal statement is sort of the collective term that is known, and you submit this through UCAS. But what we say is that more often than not, your personal statement is the first opportunity that we're going to meet you. Not in a physical sense, but it's the first time we'll come across your name and we'll see that you're interested in a specific course that we're interested in. So we want your personal statement to stand out. We want to be able to tell your personality from that statement exactly who you're going to be. So we want to know some information about why you've chose to study this specific area. We don't expect you to know every single thing about film, because that's the reason you're going to study at university in the first place. But we expect you to know some background information on it and what's led you to think this is a possible career for you. Another top tip that I always say to people when it comes to completing their personal statements is tell us about your career plans afterwards. So many people get worked up just thinking about writing this personal statement and making sure that they get into university. But it's always good to include within it what you've got planned once you graduate, because that's normally the end goal of university at the end of the day, is trying to find a job. End of it. So just tell us what you want to do. Have you got something in mind? It's very likely that you'll come to university, you'll develop as a person, and you'll end up pursuing possibly a completely different career than you thought you initially were. But just to know some background information on the sector and what you think would be a good career path is always good to include. So that would be my top tip that people tend to miss out and forget about. So yeah, just take that forward. But yeah, just make sure, just be yourself within it. And universities read loads of these applications, so they want to see something that stands out.
Thank you so much. So I think that'll be us done for today, done with the Q&A. Massive thank you to all our contributors and to everyone who came today to the Q&A. So we'll bring everyone to the screen just to say a final goodbye and wave goodbye at everyone. So I'll just say a final thank yous to the whole CMI team, to our sponsors who will be listed afterwards, to you guys, of course, and to people for watching. This event is part of a bigger event where we'll be showing films and organizing watch parties on Instagram. So there's more detail just down below. So that's us done for today. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you at any of these courses in the future. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks.